Hi everybody, welcome back to my LinkedIn Lives. I'm Jasmine Navarro, certified wellbeing expert working in educational institutions and companies, helping support family wellbeing. And as you know, every week I interview different experts who make a difference. And today I'm super excited to be interviewing Theresa. Hi Theresa, thank you so much for coming on.
Hello, yes, Jasmine. Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here with you tonight. Thank you. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you, Theresa. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, well, tonight, I'm on as a life coach. I do a few other things in between, but we're focusing on the life coaching part this evening. So I love to coach women who are struggling with low self-esteem, bad self-image, feeling that life is really not what they thought it was going to be, feeling stuck in certain mindsets, or finding that the same thing happens to them over and over and over, and to help them, to take them on a wonderful journey of discovery, because I do believe everyone is amazing. So it's a journey to discover just how freaking amazing they are, because everyone is.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I absolutely love your energy. So colourful. I love it. Thank you so much, Teresa. So you chose this title, which I absolutely love as well, because it could mean so many things. How do you see yourself? Can you tell us what inspired you to choose this title and what does it mean?
Yeah, the reason why I picked this title, How Do You See Yourself? Because when I talk to women, I always get the impression, what always comes through is that they don't think highly of themselves. You know, they constantly comparing themselves to others.
Right.
They do not believe that they have greatness and genius within them. And there's always this thing of trying to compare yourself with somebody else, or competing with somebody else. And so they have a warped sense of themselves. So when they look at the oven, in the mirror, when I do a talk and I ask women, okay, show of hands, can you stand naked in front of the bathroom mirror or any mirror and look at yourself and say, I love what I see? Show of hands. And maybe 2 or 3 hands, and the rest all go like, oh, no, 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 oh, please, no. So it's a dead giveaway. It's a dead giveaway. So what that means is that, how do they look at themselves? They see themselves as inadequate, maybe overweight. Look at my big backside or my wobbly thighs, things like that. And they equate what they see with their physical eyes to who they think they are. And so what
Yeah.
happens then is that they go through life deeply frustrated and not always aware of this. But here's the interesting thing, Jasmine, is that the foundation of how a person looks at how you look at yourself is actually laid down in your subconscious mind in the first 7 years. In fact, they say from the last trimester until the first end of 7 years, the first 7 years of a child. So what happens is that everything the child sees, hears, and experiences gets laid on. It's like it's being downloaded into the subconscious mind of this child. And that becomes their frame of reference of how they look at life. Um, every aspect of life. So imagine now a child growing up in a home where maybe it wasn't happy, it wasn't a stable home, it wasn't a peaceful home, there was a lot of unhappiness. The child maybe never heard things like, you're wonderful, you're amazing, but they heard words like, you're always in the way. Can't you just keep quiet? Just get out of my sight. Things like that. So what happens then? So that they grow up then with this thing is laid down, and they're not even aware of it. So it affects their behavior. And I always say, when you look at somebody's behavior, that is a dead giveaway of what is actually happening on the inside,
Oh, wow. That's
because
interesting.
whatever is on the
Yeah.
inside comes out on the outside. So you find that with women, and I suppose with men is the same, because but men always have this wall of, we're the strong men and we've got the testosterone, and you never sort of ever come through that, or nobody should ever think that you feeling insecure or things like that. But let's focus on the women for right now. Is
Yeah.
that the women then become very competitive. They can be very nasty, very bitchy, very sharp tongue, criticizing other people all the time, bringing other people down, always finding fault. And the other way they can also behave is that they look at life from a negative point of view. Life is hard. Life sucks. Life is,
Yeah.
ugh, and I hate my
And
job, and nothing is good.
oh, wow. That's really interesting. What, so if they have that sort of outlook, that's because they're feeling negatively towards themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Because the thing is, something also which we were never taught, or very few people are taught this growing up, is we need to love ourselves. You know, there's a scripture that says, love your neighbor as you love yourselves. We've all heard that. But the thing is that we don't know what self-love is, because normally when we hear self-love, people tend to equate it with, okay, well, you're vain, you think you're better than others, you're full of pride and arrogance, but it's not that. It boils down to loving yourself means to value yourself and to honor yourself and to see yourself as somebody amazing and wonderful. And so the journey is that you need to discover, once you start loving yourself, then you can start discovering how amazing you are. Now, I just want to go back to the example of, there's two examples I want to give you. The child growing up in a home that's positive, and then you find the one who's been growing up in a home where there was a lot of love. Parents kept on telling the child, you were very, we love you, you're amazing, you can be anything you want, whatever you dream of is yours, it's there for you, can be, do, and have whatever you want. And you find those people are normally kind, they're loving, they're generous, they're friendly, they have a gentleness about them. They love life. They look at life and say, life is really amazing. Good things always happen to me. They look at life from the glass is full or half full. Okay. So this is the thing. And you will find that normally those people then have an understanding, maybe not even consciously, but they value themselves because that value was instilled as a little child.
Yeah.
So if you are a little girl or a little boy and you hear things like, oh, good job, that was fantastic. You can dream whatever you want to be, an astronaut, you can do that. You want to be a pilot, you can do that. You want to be a fireman, you can do that. Whatever it is, they always get the support and the love. So what happens is that their foundation is solid and secure. I have value. But for somebody who didn't have that, what do they do? Is they find their value in things or possibly maybe achievements. And I'm not talking anything down. I'm not implying that anybody who's achieved certain things it's like to offset how they feel. Not that at all. But it's they're looking for the external things to justify, to make them feel worthy and valuable.
Yeah.
And I always say it's an inside job.
Oh,
everything is an inside job.
Definitely. But I think it was really interesting what you said about the third trimester. So
yeah, the last trimester, the last
sorry,
trimester.
the last trimester. So tell us, so is that like, so okay, the beginning, the last 3 months. So tell us about that then. So is that more important than year one, or what's?
No, that's where it starts, because remember, that little baby hears everything.
Yeah.
Here's all the words that are being spoken. If there's strife in the home, that baby picks it up. That baby knows things aren't happy. And especially if you have a situation where, the marriage is not in a good place, for instance, or maybe the pregnancy was sort of not planned and, it's sort of like made all the other plans go a bit skew. People, parents might say things, well, this was such an unplanned pregnancy. So what happens then, that little baby, already those words are absorbed. So you will find often that baby, once it's born, becomes a very troubled baby, cries a lot, is very unhappy. Because now remember, a little child can't tell you, I'm unhappy, my heart is sore because of this and the other. They just don't feel right. And so their behavior is they cry. Why? Because deep down, there's the unhappiness. There's the knowing that I'm not worthy. I'm not wanted.
I'm not wanted.
I'm in the way. Whereas the child that was, conceived and it was all happy, the child hears the words, he's so excited, whether it's a boy or a girl, or if it's whatever it is, we're so happy about this baby. So this baby comes into the world knowing it is so loved. But here's something that is so fantastic, Yasmin, is that if somebody was brought up in a home where it wasn't a happy one, I grew up in a home. My parents marriage was very dysfunctional. Okay. So we never heard the words, I love you. Never, never, never. My mom, when she was angry, she'd say, oh, you bloody kids, things like that. So I never heard those words. And so I suffered from severe low self-esteem growing up. And even when I went to university, there were days in my first year, I swear I wouldn't go to class because I
Oh,
thought
really?
if I step out today, people are going to say, check that dumb blonde. I had long blonde hair those days. And
Wow.
I would think if I step out on the campus today, people are going to point and say, what's that dumb blonde doing here? Then
Wow.
I became a drum majorette in my first year, which was the start of everything because not everyone can be a drum majorette. Then I became a leader and then I started doing modeling. So it
Wow.
started changing. But here's the thing. And over the years, everything started changing in my life. So
Yeah.
now it's completely the opposite. But why I mention this is because very often people were brought up or grew up in a home that wasn't happy and wonderful and all of that stuff. And so what happens then is they can get stuck in this victim mode.
Yes.
But here's the wonderful thing. You can actually rewrite your story. And it's the most amazing, wonderful, fantastic exercise to do. It's a fantastic thing to do. So what you do is you recreate the story, and you can start from when you were still in utero. And you can start and you can write as much and as detailed as you wish, but everything is positive and beautiful. Like, for instance, my mom and dad are so excited now that they heard that there's another baby on the way, and my
Oh,
siblings are
wow.
thrilled. And my dad puts his hand on my mom's tummy, and then he rubs her belly and he says, oh, I can't wait to see this little baby. And every day that mom and dad would say to me, put their hands on mom's belly and say, we can't wait to meet you. And my siblings are excited because there's a baby coming. And then the day I was born, everyone was jumping up and so excited. And I've been kissed and cuddled from when I was born. And my siblings would carry me around. And my parents used to say to me, darling, you can be and do whatever you wish. You are so loved. We are so happy that you are our child. Those things you can take it into where you are now. You can
Even
take
if
it
it's
as
not
far as you
true.
wish.
Even if it's
Yeah,
not, even if some of it's not true.
no, because you're using your imagination, which is wonderful. But here's the kicker, is that the story that you're writing, this
Yeah.
completely free story that you're writing, is actually the story that was supposed to have been.
Oh,
Isn't that amazing?
I love that. Yeah, I love
Isn't
that.
that such a fantastic
Because
thing?
it makes sense. We're actually responsible for our story, actually. It does make sense when you
Exactly.
think about it that way.
Exactly. And so we can change our story, and we never the victims forever. We are the captains of our own ship, to quote an old saying. So
Yeah.
no matter what our circumstances were, we can come out of that, and we can become the best that we can be. And what I honestly believe, Jasmine, is that every single person has greatness and genius within them. And it's a phrase that I love to use because when you hear the word greatness, it's like, wow. And when
Yeah,
you
great.
hear the word genius, it's like, geez, that's really special. And growing up, I mean, and I still think nowadays it's still, people still tend to think like that. Well, only certain people are genius. Only certain people are destined for
Yes,
greatness.
yes.
That's rubbish. We all are. We all are. We're all destined for greatness and genius. And we should express our own beautiful uniqueness because
Yeah.
everyone, Jasmine, you have this beautiful personality. You've got these wonderful skills. Each time you speak and when you deal with your clients, what is happening? Your unique magic is being spread to them and it lights up their lives. And nobody
Wow.
else can do what you're doing.
Thank you
And
so
so
much.
yeah, but it's the truth. It's the truth. So if people can start seeing, how do I look at myself? Stand in front of the mirror. And here's another fantastic exercise I like to tell my clients. Go
Yeah.
stand in front of a mirror. I use the bathroom mirror because I can get up close. And then come
Yeah.
right up close and
Yeah.
look into your eyes, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
You look into your eyes and into your pupils, and you sort
Yeah.
of lost down that tunnel. And then become aware of who's looking back at you and are the emotions. What do you
Wow.
see? So when you're looking into your eyes like this, who's looking back at you? It's your soul. It's your beautiful divine soul. This beautiful, uncontaminated, gorgeous soul of Jasmine or Teresa or John or Pete or whoever. And what do you see? You see adoration, admiration, you see gentleness, kindness, love, tenderness. You see all these beautiful things. There's no criticism. There's no
Yeah.
judgment. There's no
Yeah.
finger pointing. None of those negative things because your soul is just love. And so when you look at yourself from a negative point of view, what are you looking at? You see, you're aware of your faults, your so-called faults, all the things that you don't like about yourself. You're comparing yourself. So you stay in this awful place of negativity. But once you understand that there is no judgment, I tell you what, when you
Well,
discover you can chuck that judgment and criticism and guilt out of the window, it is awesome because now you're free from all of that.
yeah. Yeah. And you're right.
Yeah,
It's a choice, isn't it? It's a choice, actually. But some people think it's not. Some people think they don't have the choice. I remember I used to
absolutely.
feel like that.
Yeah, I know. Well, me too, growing up, some people have all the luck and the whatnot, and others don't have, and this one was born with a golden spoon in their mouth, sort of thing. And even if you think back in terms of school, I mean, I didn't excel academically at school. As long as I passed, I was happy.
Me too.
And
Yeah.
I was never a prefect. I was none of those things. And so there was, and the teachers never said things like, you are brilliant with this or with that or anything. So the teachers in general, and they're supposed to be, what do they call them? I think, no, the students are now the learners, but teachers are educators. So what they should be doing really is to identify the gifts and the different personalities of the children. We are all great. We all have genius within us. You ask a fish to climb a tree, it can't.
Yeah.
But stick it in the
Exactly.
water and it's going like a Boeing. And we are all like either fish or monkeys or whatever. So if we don't fit the pattern, then
Yes. Yes.
people say, oh, well, you're stupid, they're never going to get them, things like that. So people get labeled. And so that people struggle with this stuff. I mean, how many adults of all ages are still struggling with the baggage of feeling they're not good enough, they're never going to measure up to anybody else, life is hard and then life sucks in general. But when you can understand that you've got greatness and genius within you and that you're freaking awesome, it changes and you start
Oh, yeah.
looking at yourself and you think, geez, I'm really blooming awesome.
And people treat you differently as well. But when you mentioned you had that low self-esteem when you were at university, and then something changed. What changed? Like how did?
Funnily
Yeah.
enough, always had this deep knowing within me from high school
Oh,
days. I would say that I always knew I never wanted to disappear into the woodwork. It was like a knowing.
wow.
I just knew it, and I didn't fully comprehend the fullness thereof. Because, if you were to say that to somebody, then they would have probably said, "Yeah, well, you just want to be, all of this stuff. It's all about pride and arrogance. You want to be up front." But that wasn't it. I just knew instinctively there is more to life than living this
Wow.
pathetic,
Yes.
in the shadow wallflower life.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And so it was a journey, and as the years went on, I believe in personal growth and development. I read a lot of books, and I've done a lot of as I gain wisdom, I like to apply that because I think that's key.
Yes.
And then
Definitely.
especially over the last 9 years, has been a tremendous journey for me of enormous growth, and it is so exciting because I honestly believe life is to be celebrated. And if
Wow.
you look at yourself and you think, nah, you know what, life sucks, and I'm just going to carry on and plod on and stuff, it's like you're missing out on so much because
Yeah.
everyone is destined for greatness.
Oh, I love
Just deal
this.
with the crap.
You're right. And Bori says we are our worst critic. Hi,
I
Bori.
see
Thanks
that.
so much. It's true.
Yeah. And
And yeah,
yeah.
carry on. Sorry, we'll come back.
No,
Yeah,
what I want to say is that, as I said earlier, when we throw away judgments, stop judging yourself, stop
yeah.
criticizing yourself, and stop feeling guilty. When you chuck
Oh,
those three things away, it's like, whoa, because we're
liberated.
ourselves, and who cares what somebody else says? Stop judging yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I
Love
think that's
yourself.
so important. The judgment, the judgment.
Yeah.
Cameron says, great effort. Now we ignore all of these steps in our lives that create more information, but we can't even. I think our society is reluctant about this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think, well, certain people are destined for greatness and others not. But it's not the truth, because the moment you start loving yourself and you understand how absolutely amazing and freaking awesome you are,
I
then
love
it
it.
changes your outlook. You don't want to use the F word.
But you're right. And so what would you say to people then who, have got are feeling, not very happy with themselves? They look at themselves in the mirror and they criticize themselves. Like, what would you say is the first step? How do you get out of that? I know there's many ways, but
Yeah. Well, I would say first of all, and it's going to feel strange. But first of all, you got to realize and recognize that your mindset is completely in error. So you
oh
need to
yeah,
change your mindset, because it's your mindset that's telling you you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you're never going to get anywhere. Life's always going to be hard, and life sucks in general. And also the other big thing is you don't pursue happiness, because happiness is frivolous. That's what we've sort of been told by society. Whereas I honestly believe we've got to pursue happiness, because we're supposed to live a happy life. And when a challenge arises, we navigate through that. So go and stand in front of the mirror. Start off with your clothes on you, so that it's not a big shock for you right in the beginning. And start looking at yourself and saying, I'm sorry that I've
wow,
disregarded you. Speak to
yes,
yourself. Look
yes,
at
yeah,
yourself in the eyes and say, I'm so sorry that I've disrespected you, and I've judged you, and I've been so critical of you. And then start
I love
looking at your body, and start appreciating your body. You've got ears that hear the bird song, and you can listen to music, and eyes that can see. Go through everything in your body and appreciate every part
wow.
of your body. And then another fantastic thing is to just hug yourself. But
Oh
another
yeah, I
thing
love
you
that.
can do,
Yes.
what's a really nice one? So if you rub your hands very vigorously, not gently, vigorously, do that, Jasmine, very vigorously.
Oh, it's
And
hot. It's getting really hot.
I know. So then when you pull your hands a little bit apart, can you feel the energy between your hands? There's like
Wow.
a band.
Yes.
That's energy. So now you take that energy and you do this and you hug yourself.
Oh, wow. I love
Isn't
that.
that awesome?
I didn't, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. And that's
because
such a quick,
now,
simple thing.
yes, and it is an expression that you are loving yourself. And then you look at yourself and you say, I love you. And it's going to sound very
Wow.
strange in the beginning. I love you. I love you. And the other thing is, stop being critical, about yourself. When you're having a cup of coffee, for instance, to sit in the moment and say, I'm so grateful that I can enjoy this cup of coffee. Or when you've had a nice shower, for instance, say, well done. That wasn't that a great shower? Start talking
Yeah.
to yourself,
Yes. Yes.
because you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to connect your soul.
The words you say to yourself are just life changing, aren't they? I mean, I used to
Yeah.
be awful to myself, but now you're right. Now I speak nicely to myself. Everything changes, doesn't it? It's like,
Oh, it does.
yeah,
And you know what? If you use expressive words like, what a delicious, fantastic, amazing day. Because when
yeah,
you use words that are loaded with wonderful emotions, that's powerful energy.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
become aware of the words that you speak, and look at
Yeah.
yourself and say, I am freaking amazing. I'm gorgeous. I'm stunning. I'm such a genius. I'm so good at what I do. And start telling yourself how brilliant you are with the things that you do. Make a list
Wow.
of all the things that you've done. Make a list of
Yeah.
all the qualities people always say, you know what, you this, you that, the other, all of, because when you look at that, it's like, wow, that's
Yeah.
me.
Yes. Do you write, do you write things down? Do you
I do.
journal and stuff like that?
I
Do you?
journal a lot. And then I also do what I call soul talk.
Oh, what's
So
that?
it's
Sounds
it's
good. I like
it's an amazing thing. I love it. So I'll talk quickly now because we've got like 4 minutes left. Is that you go quiet, okay? Just go quiet,
Yeah.
have your book ready, and you say to your soul, okay, close your eyes, speak to me. And then you start writing. You don't
Oh,
think, okay, what shall I write? You just write. And you will find it'll always start, your soul will always start by saying to you something like, darling Jasmine, do you know
oh,
how much I love you? When I look at you and I see how amazing you are, my heart skips a beat because I see you love life. And
wow.
you just keep on writing because that is your soul giving you a love letter.
Oh my God, I got to write this down. So
Oh, isn't that amazing?
I've never heard of that. I mean, I do journal and I close my eyes and I really do tap
I
into
do soul
myself,
talk.
but I've
Yeah.
never thought about that though. That's like
I
another
teach my
thing.
clients soul talk. I teach them that. It's part of the journey they need to do is that you because
I love it.
when you connect to your soul, it's just wonderful.
Well, yeah, and you've got then you really have all the answers.
Yeah. And then if you have a sucking day, just go to what did your soul tell you that day? Because then
Yeah.
you're going to read all those beautiful love words and it's
Yeah.
going to soothe you.
Is this so the soul and intuition, is that the same thing? Because I get mixed up with those two.
I would say it's very sort of it's a close connect. It's connected because your soul
Yeah.
is the divine Jasmine.
Yes,
But
yes,
your
yes,
intuition
yes.
is also, if you tune in, it's your you guiding you. So I would
Yeah,
say yes, you could call it that they won.
they're kind of connected. And sometimes I
Yeah.
don't know if you ever do that. I put my hand on my heart a lot as well.
Yes. It's
Yeah, that's
amazing when
quite
you do
nice.
that. And you just
Yeah,
do
you
this
feel
and you just start expressing love and then suddenly it feels like your heart's exploding and it's like, wow, that's your
yeah,
soul connecting with you.
it's very
Isn't it
comforting.
awesome?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
comforting. Yeah. Brilliant. Oh wow, Theresa. Amazing, amazing, amazing. We are running out of time, but I love everything that you've said. Is there anything else like you can tell us about this? And yeah, how can people find you as well? But we still have a
Yes.
couple minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'd like to say is that I really believe that every person has got, as I said, greatness and genius within them, and no one should go through life thinking life sucks and life is a struggle and life is awesome because you're missing out on so much. So my passion is to show people the way and take them on a journey of discovery, and it's a beautiful journey of discovery of who you are and
Wow.
give you the tools to do that, and then you can embrace life and you carry on. So I do have a program, a 4-week course that I do with my clients, my coaching clients. And also if you want to connect with me, I think as coach the best is going to be to connect with me on LinkedIn. You can send me a message. That's what you could do. I would suggest that's going to be the best connection. But listen, if you're stuck in a rut and you feel life really is not all that enjoyable and stuff like that, you can change everything and
Wow.
rewrite your story, discover how amazing you really are, and be the unique, wonderful, amazing human being that you were created. And remember this, everyone has got all of these wonderful things within them that are unique. So the world needs your light, the world needs your gifts. And you need to go out there and shine your light and sprinkle your magic wherever you go. And if you don't sort that out, then we're missing out on your magic. Okay.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Theresa. I absolutely love your energy. I think you're so colorful and dynamic, and
Thank you,
I love
Jasmine.
even your background. I love your
Oh,
background as well. It's
love,
like
love.
everything about you is just so full of life. And I just think even if somebody spent like 5 minutes with you, they would feel that energy from you. Like you were saying about transporting energy. I think just spending time, a few minutes
Yeah.
with you And actually, that makes you realize how important it is to choose your company as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Jasmine, it was fantastic. Thank you so much for asking me. I love having this chat with you. You're amazing.
No, you're amazing. Thank you so much, Theresa. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining. If you have any questions, please feel free to message Theresa directly or write a message in the comments. Yeah. And I totally recommend seeing Theresa. I think it's transformational. Even just having this conversation, I feel really uplifted.
I'm so happy.
Words like you said, because it's true, like everything you said, you know, maybe we know this, but we forget. But you've really reminded me that even though I know how important is the words we say to ourselves, but you've reminded me, like, we can use different words like magical, unique, like there's different words we can use. Doesn't have to be, you know, you've just made me realize that. But yeah, but thank you so much, Theresa. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks,
thank you, everybody else, and I will see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, and Samir says, just one more comment. Thank you so much, ladies. It was very insightful and uplifting. Thank you so much, Samir. It was a pleasure to have you here.